Hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of my podcast, Things Could Be Worse. I'm your host, baileydedrick, and once again, we are not in studio. We are in a new place. This is actually 3 destinations later since the last podcast episode. I'm actually recording this Wednesday night, so I don't know if I'm going to have it edited and up today. It's 7 hours ahead here, so it's 8 p.m. So if I finish this and edit it right away, I may be able to have it up on time, and that's what I'm kind of hoping to do, so I don't delay the episode. I did that last week. I posted on Thursday instead of Wednesday, which I absolutely hate, and I really try to hold myself accountable to my posting dates, because it's something that I think it's just I don't know, certain people will be waiting all week for a new episode or a new YouTube video, and then it doesn't drop. It makes me feel really bad when I don't. So hopefully I can get this up on Wednesday. Noah is not in today's episode because I honestly don't feel like he's necessary. I was waiting for him to say something. I'm recording upstairs and he's downstairs, but it's super, you can hear everything. But yeah, so I'm in Cinque Terre right now. I think that's kind of how you say it. I butcher it every single time. It's basically a coastal town in Italy. It's kind of up a little, I don't even know, it doesn't matter. Look at a map. It's called Cinque Terre. We're in specifically, it's basically a town made up of 5 little towns. I think that's what Cinque Terre is. It's called the meaning of Cinque Terre is 5 earths. So each town is an earth. And there's Riomaggiore, which is where we're staying. There's Venezia. There's Manola. Maybe that's not right. There's Cornelia, and there's another Monterosso. I think those are the 5. I might be wrong, but I think so. So that's where we're at right now. Super big bummer though, if you guys can hear any of the background noise. This is not a very soundproof apartment. It is pouring. We are dealing with some, tropical weather, some storms, and I feel it's gonna, not I feel the weather, the what is it called? The broadcast? The forecast. The forecast is saying that it's going to rain the entire time we're whoa. It's going to rain the entire time that we're here. And then we go to Rome next, and it's supposed to rain the entire time we're there too. So kind of a bummer, kind of a bad way to end the trip. But I will say we've had really good weather so far. So we were kind of due to have some sort of bad weather, since it's October. It's literally time that the weather, I'm not making any sense and you guys don't care. Let me get into what am I going to talk about today. I don't even know what I'm going to talk about today. The whole point of this episode is basically to continue updating you on our Europe travels and tell you all the little fun stories and stuff. Last episode we had a bunch of bad things that had happened to us up until that point, the story time in Paris, just figuring things out for the first time, all of it. This time I honestly feel I don't have any traumatic stories or super funny stories to tell you guys, so I'm just gonna kind of run through how everything has been basically. So last I talked to you, we were in Lugano Lake Lugano, Switzerland, and we were recording the night before we were leaving from Switzerland to Venice. We ended up staying in this super cool Airbnb in Venice. The train ride from Lugano, I think it was a 4-hour train ride or something, which honestly, it might sound like that's bad, but 4-hour train rides fly by. I've noticed that the trains, time on a train doesn't exist. We've been on 2-hour train rides, we've been on 20-minute train rides, we've been on 6-hour train rides, and they all just feel the same to me. I don't know what it is, it's just a time warp thing. So the train ride from Lugano Lake Lugano to Venice was super simple. When we got to Venice, they don't have cars there. They don't even have bicycles, since the roads are alleys, and they range from being 2 feet wide to 12 feet wide. Maybe, no, there was some bigger ones, but it's small. There isn't room for cars. There isn't room for any type of vehicle. So it's all water transport, through the canals and stuff. So either water buses, there's private water taxis, there's the gondolas, there's people that have their actual private boats I assume like if you're rich and you live in Venice, you have your own boat and you just like take yourself places. But super weird experience. We got out of the train station and we walk outside and it's immediately like a whole different world. It looks like we just stepped into a fucking fairy tale. First of all, it was so beautiful right off the bat. I was like, how is this real? Second of all, we looked around and we knew our Airbnb host gave us some sort of direction, like with what water bus he was offering to book us like a private water taxi, but it was going to be like 90 euros to like go from like basically like a 10-minute boat ride. And I was like, I'm not doing that. So we ended up just doing like the public transport, which is just the water bus. And it was like, I think it was like 750 euro a person, which was really good. But when we were outside of the train station just staring at like 8 different water buses that we could get on, this old couple came up to us like they were about to leave and they handed us their water bus passes for like, it was a whole day pass. Like you could use it however much you wanted in like 24 hours. There was like different length ones you could get. You could get like single ride. So that's just like to a destination and then maybe back. I think it's just to a destination though. And then you can get like 24-hour passes, 48 hours, I think up to like 4 or something day. I don't even know. There might be week passes, whatever. This old couple was about to leave Venice because they were at the train station and they gave me and Noah their cards. So we were able to get on the water bus for free the first time, which was super sweet. I love when people do that. Like I always try to do that. Like if I'm about to leave a place and I have like, or I always like think about like in arcades, like if I am in an arcade and I have like a card with like points on it still or like money on it still, I'll try to like find a cute kid to give it to, or like, you know what I mean? Like it's just so sweet. Instead of just like keeping it, like let somebody else use it. It's already paid for. So we were able to do that. It was a little confusing though. Like I said, I literally run in circles. I'm so bad at like telling stories. It's so funny that I have a podcast. Like I actually don't even know what I'm talking about right now. I was saying that our Airbnb host kind of gave us some direction. He said he could either book us a taxi or we could take the public transport. And he told us if we were to take the public transport, he told us what line to take into what station. So we were able to just ask like, hey, how do we get to this point instead of figuring it all out on our own, which was very nice. So we got on the water bus finally. We made it to our destination. The bus was like, I keep calling it a bus because it's called the water bus, but this boat, it was like a ferry boat almost. This boat was literally packed from like end to end, bottom, floor to ceiling. Like it was packed with people and we're coming on here with our like bags and I have like 3 bags in my hands and my luggage and my backpack and like it was packed and it was hot and I was wearing like sweatpants and my Uggs and everybody else was wearing like tank tops and shorts and stuff because whenever I'm traveling I don't like to wear a short. I like to be in like a comfy sweat set and like my Uggs are huge and I don't know why I brought them here because they were not necessary, but like I don't have room to put them in a suitcase, so I had my Uggs on. It was just like kind of a little bit of a sweaty mess, but we ended up getting to the station that we needed to and it was really cool. So our Airbnb that we booked, it's basically this super rich guy, I assume, who owns a company who does Airbnb-ing. Like he owns a ton of properties, he Airbnbs them all out, and he has like a ton of employees that work for him. So one of his employees, her name was Adrienne, I believe, she met us at the train station actually, which was so nice. And what I've noticed about like being over here in Europe, we've only stayed at 2 Airbnbs, this being one as well. I don't know if it's just because these places are very difficult to find. Like in Venice, it is so hard to find certain places. There isn't like street signs and stuff. Like there is, but like if you're not familiar with the area, you're gonna have a really hard time finding it, even if you put it into your maps. And same with like where we are right now. I don't know if it has something to do with that or that their like hospitality is just better, but like both Airbnbs we stayed at, the host or like the host employee has met with us at the station, like the train station or the water bus station, and they've like walked us to the apartment and given us like a full explanation of like things in the area, like supermarkets or, you know, restaurant recommendations, bar recommendations, everything like that, and then like shown us into the apartment, like given us a whole tour. And I think it's so cool. I've just never had that in the US. Like when I've stayed in Airbnbs, it's always like self check-in. You never like see the actual host. So she met with us. We had like not like a long walk, but it was like a pretty tiring walk. We were walking upstairs. If you guys don't know from the first episode, I'm pretty sure I talked about how my suitcase was 58 pounds, which is definitely overweight. I had to pay $200 to check it on the way here. Definitely gonna have to pay that on the way back, and I'm already dreading it. But Noah was carrying my suitcase up all the stairs and I was carrying his, and it honestly really wasn't that bad. Like you expect it to be worse. And here, y'all, the stairs are like 10 times worse than they were in Venice, and it still wasn't even like that bad. Like we managed. After we checked into our Airbnb, which first of all was the weirdest Airbnb ever. I can't wait for the Venice vlog to come out so you guys can see this like apartment tour. But this apartment was crazy. It was like the weirdest, most unique place I've ever been in my entire life. It was basically like the attic of an apartment building. Like I don't think it was always a room or an apartment, but they like recently remodeled the entire building. And I think this like rich guy that Airbnbs all of these properties, he owns the entire building, because when I was looking at his other listings, they were literally like 10 in this apartment building, and then there was like 20 more other ones in Venice. But I think they remodeled it and made the attic into another apartment, so it was basically just like this big loft area. It literally felt like we were camping or like in a cabin somewhere. I don't even know how to describe it. The ceilings were all like, oh, I took an interior design class, I should know this word. No, do you know the word for that? Like ceilings that are at the slant? I don't know if like vaulted is the right word, but like angled ceilings. All of the ceilings were angled and like had a peak at the top. So in like the middle of the room, you could stand perfectly fine. But then when you got to any other part of the room that was like near a wall or near a door frame, it was literally like 5 feet tall in some places. Some places it was even less than probably I think probably 5. I don't know. It was crazy though. I was like ducking under these doors to like get to my bathroom, and it was such a weird setup. I don't even know how to describe it, but it was all just like angled ceilings, all different height ceilings. The like kitchen was designed super weird. It was super cool. And then we had like a balcony, but the balcony was literally like, it just looked like a window, and then there was like steps up to the window, and it was probably like a 5 foot or 4 foot opening from top to bottom, and you just had to like duck through it to get to this like big beautiful balcony that like overlooked a canal. So it was a very interesting place to stay. But honestly, Venice may be my favorite city that we've gone to. And I don't know like if I really don't know. Every place we've been has been so different, and there's been different pros and different cons, and I absolutely love everywhere that we've been. Like it's been so cool. Like this trip has been like, I knew it was going to be cool because we're going to all of these like amazing cities and like countries we've never been to, but like it honestly has been such a cool experience, and I feel like I've learned so much, and I just feel so much more comfortable traveling. Like I feel like anywhere I go now, I could do it like perfectly fine, which might be a little cocky, but I think I kind of talked about that in the last episode. Like I just feel so much more comfortable now than I did in the beginning, and I think that's really cool, because at first I was definitely uncomfortable, and even just like booking the flight and trying to find the places and like the lead up to this trip, I felt so uncomfortable, and I felt like it was such like a big step out of my comfort zone, and I just like had to like pull the trigger and do it and like book it, because I knew how bad I wanted to do it. But for some reason there was like something holding me back, even though I have like nothing going on at home. Like I can leave whenever. I'm not in school. I don't have like a typical job that I need to go to and like clock in and clock out every single day. I don't really have friends anymore because all my friends are at school. So I was like, why don't I just finally do this? So I did it, and it was scary to like do it and like take the leap and actually go for it, but it is so cool, and I am already dreading going home, and like I know that I'm gonna like want to plan another trip back here so soon, because like I just love it. I love it. It's just like it's really a whole different world. Like it does not feel like real life in any of these places. But Venice was absolutely beautiful. The first night that we got there, we ended up showering and quickly getting ready. I did like a full face of makeup. I had like a long maxi dress on. I got like all dolled up for no reason. Sometimes I just get in that mood. That happened to me our first night in Paris too. I don't know if I talked about that, but like right when we got there, I was like, I need a shower. And then I just like fully got ready. So we ended up just walking around kind of the area that we were staying in Venice that first night. And then we found a restaurant on one of the canals. I think it was on like the Grand Canal, which is like the main canal right by the Rialto Bridge, which is like a very touristy, popular area. It's so pretty. But we ate dinner. I got pizza. Noah got pasta. We got like bread and dipping oil. And I think we both got Aperol. No, I got an Aperol Spritz. Noah got some like weird Italian beer type of thing. And it was very delicious. We went home after that and just kind of got like comfortable in the Airbnb. Actually, we stopped at, oh my God, I need to talk about paprika chips. I haven't done that yet, I don't think, because we tried paprika chips for the first time in Venice, I believe. Was that? Yes. Okay. I found my new favorite chips. I talked about them, or I posted a picture on my Instagram story, and so many of like you guys that live in Europe or don't live in the United States and have paprika chips, I think they're a really big thing in like Germany. And I don't know, my nose is itching. Sorry. Let me take care of this. But yes, paprika chips. I'm going to go in because we stopped at a supermarket on our way back from dinner because we wanted to get like a bottle of water for the room, like a big bottle of water. And we wanted to get like some wine and some snacks. Like we were desperately craving like fruit. So we got some grapes and we got some chips because we hadn't like had chips or snacks at all in London or Paris. So we walk into this supermarket and we see paprika chips. At this point, I had seen paprika chips a few different times. I saw them in Switzerland. I saw them on the trains that we were taking. And then I think I saw them somewhere else. Like, I don't know. They were just popping up and I kept like looking. I was like, paprika chips? Like that kind of sounds weird, but like, let's try it because we keep seeing them. So we get back to the Airbnb. We have our new snacks and we dive into these paprika chips. Noah started eating them and like 5 minutes into the bag, he was like, oh my God, I cannot stop eating these. These are the most addicting chips I've ever had in my entire life. And I was like, bring them here. He was like, the first couple that I had were weird, but once you kind of get like used to the taste, they are so addicting. So the same thing happened to me. I finished that fucking bag in like 30 minutes. I don't think I've ever been obsessed with a chip. I'm not a big snacker. Like, yes, I love chips. Like, I'll eat chips if they're in front of me. But I've never been like, oh my God, give me a bag of Doritos and I'm going to finish them in one sitting. Or like Cheetos. One thing I will say, hot fries. Either the Chester's hot fries or hot Cheetos. Not so much Takis, but I will eat Takis. But they're not my favorite. But like hot fries and hot Cheetos, I'll sit and I'll eat an entire bag. But no other chip has ever gotten me to do that. Where like, I mean, I have sat and eaten bags of chips, but like, I'm not going to do it time and time over and over. I'm literally having an aneurysm. I'm not going to do it like every single time. Like if I open a bag, I'm not going to finish it every single time. These paprika chips, you guys, are so gas. We keep going back and buying them. Anytime I see them, anytime whatever, like I keep buying them. They're so good, but I just had to throw that in because I'm going to miss them so much. I'm literally going to try to smuggle some back in my suitcase or my backpack. One, so that like people at home can try them. Like I want to give my boyfriend them. I want to like have my parents try them. I want my friends to try them. I want some for myself. And then I'm literally getting on Amazon and I don't care how much they are. I'm ordering these fucking paprika chips to my house because they're so good. I could talk about them for hours. It's the weirdest flavor. It's kind of like cheesy, but then there's like a little spice to it. I don't know. It's like paprika. When I put paprika on stuff like the seasoning, I feel like it doesn't really have a flavor, but I guess it's made from like peppers, like red peppers and like, I don't know, like a mix of peppers. And I'm not a big pepper girl either, but it's fucking good. The next day in Venice, we honestly, neither of the days in Venice, we woke up early. I don't know why or like what it was. It just felt like a very calm, chill place. Even though there was like a lot of tourists, it felt very calm and like there is a ton to do in any city, especially like when it's your first time visiting. But we didn't feel as much of a rush to like get up and get ready and go outside like we did in like London and Paris, for example. It kind of gave like Lugano vibes. If you guys remember me talking about Lugano, it was like very, very calm. There was like no tourists there, where Venice was like full of tourists. Like it was packed with tourists, but it just felt like so calm. It was so like, that's why I think I loved it so much, because it felt very calm and relaxing and just like beautiful. But then there was like the touristy aspect, which I honestly don't mind sometimes. Like I know people will be like, oh, I hate tourists. Like I hate super touristy places. I get it, like when it's too busy, like it can be like a lot and like not very enjoyable, but like I like a little bit of tourism. Like I'm a tourist too, so I want like to know that everybody's in the same boat as me. Like I don't want to just be completely on my own in like a country or a city that you know what I mean? You know what I'm getting at? But it was very like calm and relaxing, but there was still so much going on and like so much to do if you wanted to do that route, or you could just like walk around and like have like a super nice relaxing day at the same time. So we didn't wake up super early. We ended up getting, oh my God, it's pouring. Can you guys hear that? It's absolutely pouring. I don't know if you can hear that. Sorry if you can hear that. There's really nothing I can do about it. It's actually so loud. It's like downpouring. I hope the lights don't go out. On the way up, like when we were with the host of this Airbnb, she was telling us that like they just kind of recently had like a big storm like this one is predicted to be, and like the lights went out, the Wi-Fi went out, and I'm like, oh my God, like that better not happen. But first full day in Venice, we wake up, we went to a little brunch. I think it might have been called Brunch Cafe. Not positive, but I think it had that name, like super generic, just like Brunch Cafe. Like I'm pretty sure that's what it was called. And me and Noel both got fluffy pancakes, which we had been also seeing all over Europe up until this point, and we hadn't gotten them. They were literally like the fluffiest. You're just gonna have to watch the video, like, or just look up fluffy pancakes because it's so hard to describe. They're just big ass fluffy pancakes. They're like 4 inches tall and they're super fluffy. Like if you hit it, like has recoil. So I got like fruity ones, and Noah got like ones with like eggs and bacon on them, and they're pretty good. That was a very nice experience. Then the rest of the day we kind of just walked around and like saw everything. We didn't really like check off any like touristy things. Like obviously everything, I mean, you stumble across like touristy things. Like we would stumble across like famous, buildings to go to, or like famous bridges and stuff like that. But we didn't really like have a set of like things we wanted to hit that day. We were just like, let's walk around and like enjoy this place and kind of just like get lost and like find cool things on our own. That night we got dinner at a place called We Love Italy, Venice. I think these are everywhere maybe, because it's called We Love Italy and then like Venice is underneath it. But it was basically like a pick your own pasta place. So you get to pick your noodles, you get to pick your sauce, and you take it to go, which is super cool. It comes in like a little cardboard box. So we just took that back to the Airbnb and we ate it on the balcony with a glass of wine, and it was honestly super fun, super nice, relaxing experience once again. And then after we ate, we ended up going back out to get cannolis, and we had been walking past these cannolis all day. It was like a little shop with like cannolis in the window right by our apartment. So anytime we would leave or come back from our apartment, we saw these cannolis staring staring at us out there. Why can I not speak? I'm so delusional. This is what happens when I try to like do anything after a day of any travel whatsoever, or just do anything in general. Maybe I'm just like losing it. Like I'm so exhausted. I need like a nice day of rotting in my bed. Like I just need to like not do anything for a day, and that hasn't happened in so long. Because like you can't do that when you're on vacation, because it's like you're wasting your time and your precious money, and you can't be doing all that. But I want to do it so bad. I'm low-key like not even going to be mad if it rains all day tomorrow, because like we have a beautiful balcony. Like I'll just sit on the balcony while it's raining and like enjoy the view, but I want to relax so bad. We ventured out to get these cannolis because we kept walking past them and they looked so good. We got the cannolis and they sucked dick. Like they literally sucked so bad. I've only had a true cannoli one other time at this like very authentic Italian place in New York. It was like pizza and pasta, and then they had cannolis, and I got a cannoli. I actually got like 4 cannolis, and they were so good. They were so delicious. They were perfect. They were still warm. They were just so good. And then these cannolis, I mean, granted, we did get them at 10 p.m. So those same cannolis were probably sitting in the window all freaking day. Like they made them in the morning or made them the night before, and then they just sat there all day. They were so stale and like dry. Like they still had good flavor and good taste. Like the filling was super good, but no, we were so excited for those damn cannolis, and they really let us down. Then we just went back to the room, went to bed again, and just chilled in the room. I don't really know what else to say. The next day, we once again walked and got lunch, brunch somewhere. I got this I wish I remember the name of this place, because it actually was such like a good deal. It was so inexpensive for like what you got. I basically ordered like, it was called like menu 3, which is really weird because I was like, menu, like that's what the food is displayed on, like a menu. But like on the menu, there was menu 1, menu 2, menu 3, and then there was like 40 different options of food to get. But basically the menu was like different meals, like you got different things. So with menu 2 or 3 or whatever I got, you got like an orange juice, you got a cappuccino, you got 2 pieces of toast with jelly and Nutella, you got these little like toast cracker things you can also put jelly and Nutella on, and then I got bacon and eggs, and I think that might have been it. But I got like a full ass breakfast, and it was like pretty inexpensive. And then Noah got this breakfast burger that had like burger meat. Obviously it was like a burger, and then there was like bacon and an egg on it, and it was so delicious, and it was literally the size of my head. I am looking at a picture of it right now, and I want it. Like I literally want it. So brunch was good. After brunch, we walked around. We saw the palace there, which I guess is dating back. I don't know much about history, but dating back to Venice's beginning, it was ruled by a duke in 600 something, like long time ago. It was ruled by a duke, and he lived in this palace. He built this palace, and we saw the palace. It was like half of it was under construction, so we couldn't really see the full thing, but we kind of walked over there, and it was kind of by like the actual like sea. Like you're by the water everywhere you're at in Venice, because these canals are everywhere, but where like it actually connects to the ocean, that's kind of where the palace was. So we kind of walked over there. We saw like the gondolas and the boats right on the ocean. There was like artists like painting and selling their paintings, and people selling things. Super touristy vibes over there, but it was a really cool area to see. We walked into like this garden that was really pretty. We walked past a few famous churches, and then we took a gondola ride, which was on the top of my bucket list for Venice. I feel like if it's your first time in Venice, or like you're in Venice at all as a tourist, like a gondola ride is just something you have to do. So we did a little gondola ride. Our gondola guy, he didn't really seem like he wanted to be there, which was kind of unfortunate, because the whole time I was like, okay, we need to get like a fun guy for our gondola ride, because like it'd be so fun to have like a funny, like, you know, he's making jokes in the back, he's trying to talk to us, like trying to like whatever. This guy didn't really say a single word, which honestly, slay. Like make your bank, like row your boat and be on your way. No, it was like €80, I think, for it, which is a lot, kind of, considering they're doing them literally all day long because it's such high demand. But I guess if it is such high demand, you can make the price whatever you want. It was just kind of crazy. It was a 30-minute ride for €80, €80, which is more than $80, to be honest. I don't know. It was a fun experience. I'm super glad we did it. We got to see like a whole different, like we went through so many canals and stuff, and we're able to see so much more than we did when we were just walking around. So that was cool. We saw Marco Polo's house, you know, like the explorer, the game Marco Polo, whatever. I don't even know why that game, he's an explorer. I don't know. Somebody tell me how that correlates. We saw Marco Polo's house, which was really cool. That shit was ugly though. It was literally just like a cement building that said Marco Polo on it, and I was like, damn, Blood was like successful and whatever. Was he? Or was he successful like after? I know nothing about Marco Polo. Let me just refrain from speaking on it. So gondola ride was cool. After we got back, we planned on going back to the room. We were going to chill for a second and then go get dinner or go stop at a bar to get some spritzes. And on our way back, we literally got pulled into a restaurant by this guy, super friendly guy. I don't know what it is about Venice, but they were like begging everyone for their service, which I think is really cool because if you remember the Paris story time, I felt terrible walking in and like asking for a seat. You know what I mean? Because like I felt so hated in Paris by a lot of the Parisians, which we've already gone over it. I don't care. But in Venice, almost every single restaurant you walk past where there was like hosts outside or hosts, I don't know. They would literally like start talking to you. They'd start laughing with you. They'd like try to pull you in. They'd try to get you to sit down at a table. They'd be like, reservation for 2. And you'd be like, no, like we're just walking. Like we're not even trying to eat right now. And it was like so welcoming and inviting. And I really, really liked that. So this guy was like, come on. He was like holding a sign. He was like, come on, happy hour. And we were like, me and Noah looked at each other and we were like, fine, whatever. So we walked to like the back of this restaurant. It was a super cute patio, like gardeny vibe back there. And the spritzes were on happy hour price. So I think we ended up getting like 5 spritzes for like $16, which is a really good deal. We downed them like so fast. We were probably in there for like 20 minutes and we finished 5. So kind of crazy, kind of insane, but that was fun. Then we went back to the room for a little bit and then we went back out and I stumbled into a little duck shop, which if you guys don't know, when you have like a Jeep Wrangler, there's this thing called ducking and it's basically like you have rubber ducks, like, you know, like little rubber bath duckies. And if you see another Jeep Wrangler, you put the duck on their door handle or on like the window of their car. And then it's called ducking. And then you like surprise other Jeeps, like when you see them with ducks. And it's just like a big community type of thing. And there was this big rubber ducky store. And there was also one in London, but I didn't like stop in and actually look around because I was like, I don't need that. But when we went in the one in Venice, you guys, they had so many cute little rubber duckies that were like Italy themed. There was one that said I love Spritz or I heart Spritz, like the I heart New York City shirts, you know, like that classic, like I heart whatever. It said I heart Spritz. And he was like, hey, I had like a little picture of Spritz on his back. It was so cute, like an Aperol Spritz. And then there was one that was wearing like the gondola outfit. Like these little rubber duckies were dressed like little gondola guys. And then the one that I got, he has like an Italian hat on, like this Italian style hat, but then it's like red, white, and green stripes, like their flag. He's got a little mustache and he's holding a pizza. It's just so cute. It's so cute. I love him. I'm bringing him home and I'm not going to duck him ever. I'm never going to duck him away. What, is that what you say? I'm never going to duck anybody with him. He's mine forever. He's going to stay on my dash forever, even though he's kind of big. Ugh, whatever. That night we didn't do a sit down dinner. We just went into this pizza by the slice place, got a pizza by the slice, and then we got gelato afterwards and it was so good. Next day, I think we left the next day. Yeah, we left the next day. Interesting. After Venice, we went to Florence. I don't really have too much to say about Florence, to be honest. Like, I feel like we didn't really do much because I think we were both beat. Like, me and Noah were both beat. The first day we got to Florence, we got breakfast at this place that I saw on TikTok. I'll try to say the name. I'm so bad at this. It's called Dita Artigianale. So butchered. I so butchered that. But Noah got pancakes and bacon and it was so delish. Like I had some of his, so delicious. And I got the club sandwich, which the club sandwiches here, you guys, are like triple decker. It's like 3 pieces of bread. It's got so many different layers to it. They're like literally created to perfection. It was so good. There was like just the right amount of mayo on it and just the right amount of lettuce. It was all just like perfect ratios. Mid-eating though, Noah got like a piercing headache. Like he was just like really going through it. So I proposed the idea. I was like, we don't have to like just walk around. Like we don't really have anything to do right now. Like let's just go back to the hotel. You can drink some water, take some ibuprofen and just like lay down for a bit. And hopefully you'll feel better and then we can go do whatever later in the day. So that's what we did. We just kind of chilled at the hotel for a couple hours. He like took a nap. I think I edited a YouTube video. And then when he woke up, he felt a little bit better. So we ended up going to this place. I wish I knew the name of any of these places. I'm such an idiot. It's basically this place in Florence that is known for having like the best city view ever. apparently. It's basically like the best place to watch the sunset. It's the best place to just like get a panoramic of the entire city. And it is a hike. It is a hike. The reason that the view is so good is because it is a workout. I saw grandmas and grandpas, people with canes, walking up these stairs, walking up these hills. I don't know how high. I think it ended up being like when you put it into your maps and you see like how big of a hike it was. I think it was like a 400-foot hike, which is crazy. Like from the bottom to the top. Crazy. I was hurting. My legs were hurting. My head was hurting. Noah's head and legs were probably hurting. Everything was hurting. My calves were so sore because you were literally walking at like a 45-degree angle, you guys. It was crazy. But we got to the top and it was totally worth it, even though there was so many people up there and like we had to wait in line to get to like the edge of the wall to like see the view. It was worth it. I got like so many pretty pictures of the view, which I just love them. I love like pretty views. It's my favorite thing. Like having pictures of like pretty views on my phone just makes my world, makes me so happy. There was like people playing music, like live music up there. People were dancing. There was different food stands and, you know, little stands that people were selling shit. It was a cute little experience. Definitely was a hike though. It took a while to get up that bitch. That night we ended up getting a luxurious steak dinner for absolutely no reason. I don't know what it was. We were like, oh, are you hungry? Like, I was like, no, are you hungry? I'm always hungry. Like, I've realized after being with Noah for this long that I eat a lot of food. Or not like, I don't eat a lot of food. I mean, I probably do. But I eat a lot. I'm trying to figure out how to say this. I eat frequently. I eat a lot of meals. I eat all day long. You know what I mean? Like, I don't just have like 2 meals or 3 meals a day. Like, I am constantly hungry and I can constantly eat, even if I'm not eating like a ton each time I sit down to eat, which is weird. But I was like, no, are you hungry? And he was like, yeah, like I could eat. So I was like, okay, let me put in this place that I found on TikTok. And I just like was looking through. Every time I go on a trip and every time I, you know, want to explore or find places to eat or find places to shop, of course I go to TikTok and I look at all the TikToks because it just gives you ideas. It gives you the good spots and stuff. So I have like a favorites list. Like in your maps you can like favorite places. So like before we go to each city or like the night we get to each city, I would be like typing in all of these like famous places I found on TikTok, and then I would save them or like favorite them so that I could just like scroll through and like click them and see how far or close we were to them and like, you know, what time they were open to and stuff. So I put in this one place and I didn't realize it was a steak restaurant right away, but I was like, oh wait, this is the steak one. Like once we kind of started walking to it, and I was like, you know, that does kind of sound good. And Noah's like, yeah, I could eat a steak. So we walked to the steak place and it is so busy. Like there's like probably 10-15 people just like waiting outside, like sitting on the curb waiting. It was basically big enough where they had like 2 sides, like they owned both slots, buildings on each side of the street. They had like the main one, and when you walked up, y'all, you saw like the meat. Like they had the meat. Arby's who? Because no, they had all of the meat. They had these big coolers with just like, trigger warning to my vegans, skip to the next like 10 seconds. They just had like cows, like not full cows, but like cow meat, like no legs and arms and heads, but like their bodies, just so many cows meat just laying there, hanging up in this fridge. And I was like, oh, okay. There was so many people waiting though. It looked really good. Like when we looked at people's plates that were like eating outside, it looked amazing. It smelt amazing, but there was just too many people waiting. And like we asked how long it would be, and they were like 45 minutes. And I was like, I don't want to wait that long to eat. So we went to this place across the street and down a little ways, and there was barely anybody there. Actually, there was people there, but like it wasn't packed. Like there wasn't a ton of tables to begin with, so like it wasn't like super packed. But we went in, we got steaks, and it was so freaking good. And our waitress was so funny and sweet, and she was like joking with us the whole time. It was a super good experience that night. I think we went back home after that. We might have went into a few clothing stores because I was trying to find a dress for 2 days after that. I don't even know. The next day, we decided to take a day trip to Pisa to see the Leaning Tower and to get lunch. We were literally there for like 2 hours. We took a train at like 12 and our train back was at 4. So by the time we got there, it was like after 1, and then we had to go back to the station around 3. So we literally had like 2 hours in Pisa, which I honestly feel like was enough time. There really isn't much to do there. Like, you go, you see the tower, you eat lunch maybe, look around at some of the shops, and then leave. So that was a fun experience. I'm glad I saw it. It was a pretty cheap train ride to get there, so like it wasn't like a crazy price to pay for like not that much of an experience. But you know, I'm glad that I can say I saw the Leaning Tower of Pisa or whatever. We got pizza there, looked in some of the shops, and then we came back to Florence. We ended up going into this super cool little vintage store called like Melrose Vintage, which sounds like a California thing. I think they have a Melrose, or Melrose is like the area that people shop. Melrose Street, and then there's like a bunch of like vintage sellers on the street. I don't know. I've literally been to Los Angeles once, but this store was so cool. You guys, you like walked in and it looked like very weird and small at first. Like, you walk in and it was just like one small hallway with like some things hanging and some pairs of shoes, and I was like, what the fuck is this place? Then there was a staircase, and you walk downstairs and it's literally like 6 huge rooms filled with so much vintage clothing that like I couldn't even look at it all because there was so much. Like, I didn't even make a dent in seeing everything. There was men's clothes, there was women's clothes, there was shoes, there was accessories, there was literally everything. There was like super vintage pieces that like I literally looked at it and I was like, that is from a pilgrim. Like, somehow they got this shit like back like off the fucking Mayflower and they shipped it back to Europe. Like, I was literally like, that shit is so old. Or there's like less vintage things from like the 80s and 90s and like 2000s. So it was a super cool store. We didn't get anything, 1, because I don't really have a lot of room to shop, and 2, because like, I don't know, it was kind of expensive. It was like one of the stores where it's like high-end vintage. Like, it's not a thrift store by any means. It's like a vintage store. But it was super cool to go in and see. After that, we just walked around. We were like in the direction of heading back to our hotel, but we like stopped at a few shops, and I bought a ring actually off the side of the road. Like, they have like stands where you can buy like leather goods, because like in Florence, they're known for like jewelry, meat, and leather. I believe those are like the 3 things. So we got some meat in Florence. We got some jewelry. I didn't get any leather. I was going to get a purse, but I have too many fucking purses, and it's just like, it would be cool to have a purse from Florence or whatever with like Florentine leather or like Italian leather, but like, I need to become a minimalist, because I'm not. I'm so far from that, but I just am so sick of buying things because I know that I don't need them. After that, we walked home, went to bed. There was obviously more that happened in between this, but guys, like, nothing really like funny or interesting happened in any of these places. So I'm just like running through, like giving you guys the updates because I know you guys are curious. But the 3rd day or the 4th day, I think it might have been our 4th day. We were in Florence for 4 days instead of 3, or like 3 full days, 4 nights. We were there for like a day longer than the other places. But the last day in Florence, we decided to do a Tuscany wine tasting, which was so like, I don't even know. It was just so like such a cool experience. We walked like 20 minutes to meet up with our tour group, and we get there, and we first thing we noticed is that we are significantly younger than everybody else there. It was like mainly older people. There was a few like couples in their 20s or like maybe 30s that had like just gotten married. Like, there was 2 couples on their honeymoon that people, like the older people, kept getting me and Noel mixed up with them. They're like, oh, so are you guys the honeymooners? And we're like, no, we're brother and sister. It was so funny. But it was such a cool experience, and I honestly loved it. We took like a 30-minute bus ride with our little group. The whole big group kind of got split into smaller groups. I don't know where the other groups went at all, honestly, but like our group, maybe there was like different tours, but our group, we headed on the bus and we went like 30 minutes to the first winery. We walked in, we got like a brief little tour of the winery and like how they make their wines, and then we tried like 4 different wines. We had some cheese and some bread and some olive oil. Super fun, super interesting. We started talking to the old people at our table, and it was so cute. They're like retired like old couples that are like friends, and some of them were from like Buffalo, New York. York. One of the guys was from like Tennessee. We were learning all about their lives and how, you know, how long they've been together and where they're living and where they have lived. And we're talking about weather up north. And like, also everybody on this tour, I'm pretty sure was American. I'm pretty positive every single person was from the United States, and most of the people that we met were literally from the Midwest. So it was super like comforting and like cool to talk to them and be like, we're so far away, but like, you know, or so far away from home, but like you can find people that are so similar to you, like geographic, whatever, fuck it, you don't care. We just talked to so many old people that day, and I don't mean like old people as like a old people, like it was just so funny. Like me and Noah were wine tasting with 55-year-olds and just like making convo and like shooting the shit. It was so funny. But after the first winery, we drove like 15 more minutes to the second winery, and this one was significantly more beautiful in my opinion. It was so pretty, like the scenery, the vineyards around it, so pretty. The actual like place that we ate was so pretty. They gave us, again, 4 glasses, or not 4 glasses of wine, but like 4. Honestly, these ones were like pretty full. Like I started feeling it after this second winery. Trust me. We tried 4 different wines, and then we all had like plates with like charcuterie stuff. So there was like these crackers. They were honestly like croutons without seasoning. Like they were like strips of bread that were like dried out. So they were tasted like crunchy bread, crouton things. There was cheeses, there was salami, there was ham or like something, bologna. I really don't fucking know what it was, but it was all really good. The wine was good. We went outside and took pictures, talked to more old people, got back on the bus, headed home. It was like 7 p.m. when we got home. We had to walk back. We ended up going, what did we do? Oh, okay. I remember. So after the winery, we went back to the hotel. We bought a bottle of wine, so we wanted to go back to our hotel and drop it off. Of course, we bought a bottle of wine on the fucking wine tour. I don't know if anybody else did. I didn't see anybody else. Maybe they did. I think one person. I don't know. But you could like order boxes of it, like cases of it, to ship back to your actual house, like in America. But we just bought one to finish that night, which we actually didn't. We brought it to here. So probably drink that tomorrow or something. So we went to the hotel for a little bit, and then we realized that this is the second hotel that we have stayed at that has a rooftop bar, dining, restaurant type of thing that we haven't gone to. The one in London had one, but it was 21 plus after 6 p.m., 7 p.m., 8 p.m., something like that. And I was stupid when I booked it, because I literally booked it for the purpose of having this like bar on the rooftop, because people were saying it's like the best hidden bar in London, like best like chill, like whatever, with the best views, all that. And you know, the drinking age in Europe is 18. Some places it's like 16. And we get to London and they're like, you guys are both 21. And I was like, huh? Bitch, why are you acting like I'm in the US? Like I came here, you know what I mean? So that was disappointing. But like we could have checked out the rooftop during the day, and we just like didn't have time, and we didn't think about doing it. So oh my God, choking on my words. We completely missed that opportunity. So this night, or our last night in Florence, we were like, okay, we need to go check out this rooftop bar restaurant type of thing. There was like a pool up there. So we went up there. We had a glass of Prosecco because we felt we were just like walking up there like during when all these people were like eating dinner and stuff, and like at the bar we like felt we were just like walking around. So we sat down for a drink. The bartender poured up welcome shots, which thank you, sir. He poured up like 4 shots. Him and like another bartender took them, and then me and Noah took them. It was super, super fun and cute. After that, though, I was hungry. I was drunk. No, I wasn't drunk, but I was like a little tip. You know, I'd been drinking all day. I honestly felt hungover at this point. So I was like, we need to get food like now. So we went to another pasta to go place. Same concept as the one that I was telling you about. Same concept as the one I was telling you about in Venice, but they just had like they had more options, honestly, more noodle options and more sauce options. I ended up getting a penne arrabbiata sauce, and Noah got like this macaroni noodles with like this cheesy sauce. It was super good. Actually, it wasn't super good. It was super mid. I have like this tendency of just saying like super good after everything I say. This pasta it was called pastation. It probably should have been better than it was. Like, I don't know, I feel like if you would have eaten there, you could eat there or you could take away. I feel like if you ate there, the pasta would have been really good, but the takeaway wasn't great. but it was fine. And then once again, we went home. I went to bed pretty early last night. I packed up all my stuff after I ate my pasta. I showered, and then we went to bed. Noah went to bed with me and then set an alarm to wake up to watch the Bucks play, the basketball team. They lost though, so that sucks. He was literally up, I think they played at 2 a.m. this time, so, or here time, so he woke up to watch that and then went back to bed after. We woke up this morning, chilled in the hotel until we had to check out, called an Uber, went to the train station, took a train from Florence to Sans something, and then another train from wherever to Riomaggiore, and we're here, and we checked into our Airbnb. Once again, the host met us at the station, walked us up. Our walk up is literally climbing a mountain with a ladder, or it's crazy. The stairs are so steep. There's so many stairs, which we knew coming into it. We knew that Cinque Terre would be difficult, and Venice would be difficult with all the stairs. And we conquered Venice, and we made it into our Airbnb here. We just have to make it out. But guys, these stairs are so fucking steep. It was so scary. I would literally thought I was gonna die. But other than that, this is definitely the most homey place we've been. I don't even want to say homey because it doesn't feel homey. This is I'm trying to say this is the worst place we've been. It's definitely the oldest. It's definitely, could do some remodeling, but I like the vibe. I love it. The windows don't really work. The stairs are creaky. I like this vibe. It feels very comfortable, especially if it's storming. I'd almost rather be in a little cabin-y feel than in a, I don't actually know. I take that back. I would definitely rather be in there. It just adds to the ambiance. We have a beautiful balcony. If you guys have seen the movie, what's it called? Luca, the Disney movie, Luca, the city that takes place in, it looks like my fucking view right now outside of this window. There's the ocean, or the Mediterranean Sea. There's the beautiful, colorful buildings on the side of the mountain. It's so gorgeous. I can't really say much about it so far. Hopefully it doesn't storm the entire fucking time, because I would love to get out and explore the other cities and stuff, and just be able to walk around. But I guess that'll be for next episode, because I've talked about pretty much everything up until this point. So, and my camera's about to die, of course. But I love you guys. Thank you so much for listening. I really didn't think this was going to be a long episode, but I've been recording for over an hour. I'm sorry that this one wasn't as fun and as interesting. I promise you, at least the actual formatting was better. I didn't have to pause it a bunch of times and plug my laptop in and do all this different shit, and didn't have to change my camera battery yet. I'm about to have to, but it was better. We just have to combine the last episode and this episode for the third year up episode, and we're gonna be golden, because I need my energy levels I had last episode, and then I need my technical I can never say that word, technological skills for the next, as from this episode. You know what I'm fucking saying, right? I need a combination of both episodes for next episode. I'm just a little tired right now, and nothing really funny happened. Hopefully, maybe I'll just stir some shit up. Maybe I'll cause a fight or something, so that I have a story to tell you in the next episode. But so far so good here in Cinque Terre. Terre. I don't know. Yes. Okay. I'm going to go now, because I'm literally about to piss myself, and I'm kind of getting hungry. But thanks for listening. Rate and review the pod. Give it 5 stars on Apple and Spotify. Follow the Things Could Be Worse pod Instagram and TikTok account if you guys want to be a little more involved with the episodes, even though these ones aren't really, they're not involving you at all. I'm just talking out of my ass the entire time. But I promise eventually we're going to go back to normal episodes that I'm not just explaining every single detail of what's going on in my travels. We're going to be going back to girl talks. We're going to go back to answering questions. We're going to go back to advice episodes. But for now, stay tuned for more travel updates. I love you guys, and I will talk to you next Wednesday. Maybe. I don't even know if it's Wednesday when you're hearing this. Oh, it's hard to stay consistent when you're in a different country, on a different side of the world with a different time zone. Sorry. Okay. Love you. Bye.